My mom got cancer. I used to be a musician and I did that for many, many years. And when my mom got sick, I had to quit my band and quit my job to help take care of her. And when I was taking care of her, it got like real crazy because I wasn't doing anything. And a friend of mine said, "Wow, you're really funny. You should do stand-up." And she's like, "My friend teaches a stand-up class." And Jody Miller was the comic that taught the class. She's a really, really funny comic. She's out of the Comedy Store. She's super funny, super nice, and I fell in love with it the first time I did it. The first time I did it, like really do it, was outside of the class. The teacher had hooked us up with promoters, and one of the promoters she hooked us up with was booking shows through the Comedy Store, and the Comedy Store is a very big comedy venue back home where I'm from in LA. And I remember just thinking, man, I've been driving down Sunset Boulevard my whole life, and I've looked at that place, and never in a million years did I think I'd be in there telling jokes. I wasn't ever a comedian, I was always a musician. And I was so fucking scared, and I went up and everybody was laughing, and my family was there, and they were very proud. And I think if I would have bombed, I would have never done it again. So I feel very fortunate that I didn't. But like Cameron said, you try to that feeling that you have to do it, or there's a necessity is there. And what people don't tell you about stand-up is that I liken it to jumping out of an airplane, right? Where sometimes the parachute opens and sometimes it doesn't, right? And a lot of times it doesn't, and you just have to keep getting back up, and that's it. I love, and this is gonna sound crazy, I love Don Rickles on Johnny Carson. Anything Don Rickles on Johnny Carson shows, like I studied that shit. I love Rickles. Rickles is my favorite comedy roasts with Dean Martin from the 60s and 70s. Jesus Christ, I live on those. And that's all I watched. And when I was first starting out, like Dice, I loved Andrew Dice Clay, like Joan Rivers. I love those really like come at you fucking we don't give a fuck comedians, and that's what I love. That's what I try to do in my comedy, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but I definitely stick to those guns because I feel like more akin to that. That's what I love. That's what I mean, even today I'll still go. There's a very good bit on Carson where Don Rickles comes out and it's Frank Sinatra. He's actually on, and Don Rickles comes out. And just seeing the two of them together make jokes is one of the funniest things. If you YouTube Don Rickles and Frank Sinatra on YouTube, I promise you, it's the best. So my favorite television show is probably Aqua Teen's Hunger Force.
Whoa!
I know.
Never would have pegged you.
I know. So we were a little bit older. I'm a little bit older than the guys, and for some reason, my friends, our friend Jimmy, me and my older brother have a friend Jimmy, and he dubbed me, my brother, and my little brother the actual characters. Like, my older brother was Fry, I was Milkshake, because I was just a dick. And then my little brother, who doesn't talk very often, and anytime he talks, he sounds kind of like a jock. He was Meatwad, and it was just so fun, and I love that show. Like, if that show is on, like Danzig comes and buys the bloody house, and fucking, like, they had people on that you wouldn't expect to be on it, and it was always really a treat. As far as sketch show, I love SNL. I grew up in the 90s, so it was always a really cool place to see bands. I was a musician, so like seeing bands when there's no internet was a really, really cool thing. And getting and Lorne Michaels always likes to put on like new stuff that not a lot of people know about. Now it's a little bit more like for major audiences, like, but before you get like bands like Crash Test Dummies and shit, and you're like, what is this? And then as far as movie goes, this is gonna sound really silly, but like Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls, the second one, was really, really funny. And I used to smoke a lot of weed with my best friend Giulio, who's from Italy. And we would constantly just be like laughing our heads off when they were like, Chicago, Chicago. Like, yeah, like that was so stupid but funny, and it just made me laugh so hard. Dice. I think that would be weird. Dave Chappelle already roasted me for 2 hours, so I'm good. Next 5 years, just making comedy, doing different things. Like I started writing comedy songs, so hopefully I get to put that out in the next couple months and see where that goes. But I don't know. I've written scripts, comedy scripts. I would love to get those made, so we'll see. You can see me. I'm Shayna Ross on Instagram at Shayna_who, SHAYNA_who, and ShaynaRoss.com. You can find all my tour dates or wherever I'm going to be, and I have a YouTube channel as well, Shayna Ross. Check me out. I'm Shayna Ross. Check me out on acutiepie.com.